You are the light of the world. There is a light existing within a person of light, and it enlightens the whole world. If it does not enlighten, that person is darkness. Now I'm going to be sharing information from a body of work by Robert Gigengack, his document, The Magic of Moses and Jesus, a unification theory on spirituality and magic. Because in the end, it's all just physiology and physics. Most of us are familiar with the famous physicist in the wheelchair, Stephen Hawking, a longtime ALS sufferer, but highly intelligent and, despite his illness, very hard-working scientist who passed away in 2018. Stephen Hawking was part of the school of thought in physics that states that we live in a kind of illusion. According to him and his fellow thinkers, time and space, or time-space as physicists call it, does not actually exist. The reality we perceive actually is a kind of illusion which is created by our brain. In a way, it's the same concept as is depicted in the movie The Matrix. We are kind of imprisoned in an elusive material world, the material world of what ancients called Mother Earth. Both the words matrix and material have the Latin word mater in them, which means mother. Both words thus refer to the manifested material world of Mother Earth. Actually, the movie The Matrix is one of the latest versions of a very ancient myth told here with the help of the computer network metaphor. Because long before Stephen Hawking, The Matrix and many other movies, art, and books hinted at this knowledge. The Hindus, Buddhists, Taoists, and other esoteric schools taught their students these ideas. Already some 4,000 or more of years ago, it was thought that we live in a kind of illusion, which the Hindus called Maya. And, as we're going to see, Moses and Jesus taught this as well, as did the ancient Greeks in their mystery schools, the Egyptians in their hundreds of temples, and Sumerians in their ancient clay brick ziggurats, temples on top of hills that connected heaven and earth. And this is also what shamans all over the world already knew for tens of thousands of years. It's actually universal knowledge, but that was only taught to specific initiated people and mostly kept secret for the common man and woman. And the most secret of all, they knew we can transcend this material world, experience what the other world is like, and once we are able to access this other world, we can even learn to bend the energies that hold our own material universe together and thus bend reality. This is the esoteric knowledge of what in Greek is called the spiritual, Hieros Gamos, the sacred marriage of heaven and earth, Hieros Gamos. So you see, folks, ascension mechanics, ascension technology has existed from the very beginning. Look up what the shamans of every culture, any techniques that basically allow the mind, the brain waves to alter and thus begin to see through the illusion of what is known as Maya. So the secret of these schools and cults were heavily guarded. Participants were not permitted to write anything down. In many cases, people were killed when they revealed the secrets, but still, more or less, all the secrets were entrusted to paper. Many of the secrets were written down, but hidden in hidden language, in codes, in effect, in myths, mythology. But you have to read between the lines to discover the secrets. As the Roman Praetorius prefect Flavius Sallustius put it, and I quote, "Besides, to wish to teach the whole truth about the gods to all produces contempt in the foolish, because they cannot understand, and lack of zeal in the good, whereas to conceal the truth by myths prevents the contempt of the foolish and compels the good to practice philosophy. Today, in our high-tech world, most of this information is available to us in books and scattered on thousands of sites on the World Wide Web, but no one seems to get to the core of it. The teachings in these esoteric mystery schools all over the world generally consisted of three parts. First, initiations and lectures in morality and knowledge of all kinds of worldly sciences, directly and indirectly related to the concept of Hieros Gamos, the marriage of heaven and earth, bringing heaven into earth. That is what we are doing here. That's how the new earth is coming about. There are other cosmic factors involved for certain, are all of the Galactic Federation of Light, all of the higher light beings, to include source, actual source awareness in this world and on this planet, who is aware of what has been going on, but from the dark cabal, the deep state, all of that, the machinations of keeping humanity under the frequency fence and distracted, keeping us from being able to channel, bring heaven down into earth. Well, the team's all here, folks, okay? Everything has come online. I'm beginning to realize that when I look at our August 11th of 2021 as where I was flipped on, I guess, switched on, and I learned today, watching an interview with Ishmael Perez and Jason Shirka, that is when, Ishmael Perez said specifically August, September is when it was communicated to him from his higher self, his higher organization, Galactic Federation of Light, that it was time, that humanity was ready for this information to release his book. Jason Shirka said the same thing, that it was his time. He knew that it was time to begin his mission and begin to communicate. And all I'm saying is it's just interesting that all of this, message to people, to whatever it was, whatever you felt your part was, to begin to contribute, but to begin, that the time was right. So take that to heart, that we are guided from on high. There is a plan, a divine cosmic plan in place, and it should only encourage anyone, no matter where you're at. So initiations and lectures in morality and knowledge of all kinds of worldly sciences, directly and indirectly related to the concept of Hieros Gamos, the marriage of heaven and earth. Second, understanding the relativity of the elusive material world we experiencing and transcending the energy that maintains this illusion, the digital matrix. That natural illusion of Maya has only been reinforced by the artificial intelligence hive mind, digital matrix, and certainly with this onset of metaverse, what I call the digital concentration camp, to lock people's awareness and consciousness in this virtual irreality, thus basically becoming slaves to all that. So the material world we experience is illusion, experiencing and transcending the energy that maintains this illusion, and understanding and accessing the fundamental heavenly creative energy. And third, different specific techniques of the esoteric arts. So I'm gonna look through this document and continue to share information that I think that might be of relevance and helpful to people. But the main thing is man, put your smartphone down, disconnect, realize that the light that you're getting from your computer screen is not real light, it's artificial light. You need to, you really will benefit from having a more personal relationship with our sun, getting sunlight, and leave the glasses off. It's okay to look into the sun. I stare into the sun at all hours of the day, whether it's high noon, but when you're starting out, you want to kind of realize sunrise and sunset are the optimal hours, but you're not going to damage your eyes. And just take care of your temple, and also begin to realize that this is all kind of just a school that we're in. And the big lesson to learn today is transcend the digital matrix and the Hieros Gamos, the marriage of heaven and earth, bringing heaven down here to the new earth and sharing that information with all. Speak your truth, share your light, shine your light, and hit that subscribe button.
Namaste, namaskaram.